Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to Dream Career Talk Show. Today, we are on episode number 66 of Dream Career Talk Show. And as you all are aware, Dream Career Talk Show is to help people to build their dream careers. So, on this show, we are going to have industry experts coming from various domains who are going to share their knowledge, their challenges, their experiences, their failures, and success so that it can inspire others. It can help professionals to get clarity, direction, hope, inspiration, and of course, the right steps to build their dream careers. Now, today's topic is very special. We all are aware of skincare, but still, we don't take the utmost care that we need to take care of it. And as age grows, we know skin also changes. But due to lack of awareness, we don't really take the right steps that are needed. And today, skincare, especially when it comes to cosmetology and also the different fields of dermatology, are the fastest growing fields, right? Amazing opportunities there. But a lot of people do not know what are the in depth things that we can do, what are the different things that we can do, what are the new technologies, how we can leverage them, how we can grow in that career, and how we can also be able to take care of skin, understand and reach out to the right people to get the right help. So, to do that, today we have somebody who is very passionate about it, Dr. Parul, who comes with huge experience, right? She has done her dermatology and then she later on pursued cosmetology and then went ahead learning a lot of things from various countries and implementing that in India and also being able to help a lot of people to get good self belief, high self belief, I would say, right? Build their self image and also be able to look great, look amazing and awesome, irrespective of their age. And Parul does it because of her passion and her mission, which is also about impacting millions of people. And we will talk about it directly when we are interacting more with Parul. But without further ado, let me bring on our today's special guest, Dr. Parul. Dr. Parul, welcome to our Dream Career Talk Show.
Thank you so much, Fatah. It's a pleasure to be here, absolutely. And probably, even if I inspire few people today to get on to a dermatology and cosmetology, I think it'll be just as fruitful as ever.
Great. So nice, very nice to have you here. And we know how passionate you are and the kind of work you are already doing, not only on the ground, but also in social media. You are like creating a lot of content. You are helping a lot of people through your content on YouTube, on different social media channels. Then you are already influencing and helping a lot of people out there. So it is great to have you here to get some tips and people can also get inspired and lot of things today. So why not we get started with your journey? How did you get started into this journey? Like, how did you identify this as your passion, and how did you get started in your career, and how has the journey been so far?
So, just to begin, it's a long 15-year-old journey and into dermatology and cosmetology. So, before that, we do our MBBS, which is all about clinical medicine. And even when we are doing our dermatology for about 3 years or 4 years, the master's, that degree teaches you more about clinical. So, it's all about diseases, it's all about curing the skin conditions. And when I passed out of my post graduation, I was thinking, now what next? Okay, we treat, but then what is next? And I was always inclined towards a little bit of beauty, towards wellness. And I thought, how can I just move ahead? At that time, cosmetology was very naive. It had just entered into the Indian market, and people really were very reluctant to go into any kind of cosmetic thing, saying that, oh, it's just a humbug. What is it about taking care of your skin? You don't really need a dermatologist. And I started from there. But then, of course, when I entered, there were very basic avenues available at that time to treat maybe the skin quality and the texture, and understanding the Indian skin from a different perspective, not from a disease perspective, but a health perspective. So at that time, then whatever was available, I got into a job which also trained us into many advanced treatments. And I started liking the satisfaction which I could get in very few months on the face of my clients. And also to, the nomenclature shifted from patients to clients, because now we weren't treating ill patients. We were looking at enhancing and modifying their looks and getting them to look better. It's all about enhancing your own look. So at that time, in around 2005, the western markets had already they were moving quite ahead, and Indians as usual are quite way behind in every single thing to adapt. And I thought that was an opportunity for me to go and learn things from there. And we learned a lot of techniques. They were already into injectables, using botox fillers. A lot of lasers, machineries were there, which were quite expensive that time. But somehow when they entered into India, Indian skins again were very different. So adapting those all new technologies from the western world, modulating and adapting our Indian skin into them, and getting the best results. So that was a journey which I went on through, evolving every single year, learning new things, trying them on Indian skin, getting great results. And with that, I think my patients also responded well. By that time also the awareness part went on, and there was a great demand. So dermatologists were recognized on Miss India platforms. In weddings, people started feeling that yes, they should look beyond the normal. So that's where we were needed. Professionals were wanted to look good in kind of in their interviews. So that's where they came across dermatologists, that we want to crack this interview and look good. Even selection deselection criteria in many of the occupations like air hostess, ground staff, sales people, they wanted to look better and good. And that's how, with increasing demand and looking at every criteria of a customer coming and asking for a requirement to look better, I evolved into many techniques. I bought into my clinic a lot of heavy machines, and then of course that's how the journey began. So that's how it began. And then, of course, I evolved a lot into many other aspects later.
Great. Now, if you have to look at your journey right now, and if you have to see the time you started, right? You said awareness was very less, especially in the Indian market. People did not understand and all. So, how much do you think is the change? Like, how much time did you used to spend more of creating awareness at that time when you started, and today, like, has it changed?
Yeah, that time people wouldn't really come asking for it, but we had to create an awareness that yes, we can go
Mhm.
beyond, and then we can get you that happiness and that look kind. So we had to proactively talk about it. But now, of course, use of social media and quite active over it, and my awareness campaigns are quite huge, widely touching base on all demographics and psychographics, like teenagers, adults, elderly adults, beyond 50, women, professionals, even gym goers. All of them, I'm connecting them to a need and a cause, and I'm talking about it. But yes, now it's little more easier than what it was 15 years back, but I still struggle with a lot of mindset. And that's why I usually start my consultations by knowing what that person has a mindset. Are they really aspiring about it? Because the basic mindset what Indians have is, I'm fine with my skin, I have great skin. Even if they have an issue, they are just not aware about it. And even if they do have, they don't want to go to a doctor, they don't want to get themselves, because reluctance is huge, procrastination is huge, so they never reach to a doctor in time. Suppose even if they can see something happening on the skin, maybe because of maybe they are architects or salespeople on outside, exposed to sun, they may not be willing to go to a doctor in the first initial stage, because the awareness was so poor. It's also because of the held back beliefs which we have since many generations. Indians usually try to get along all the solutions from the kitchen first. So putting whatever is there in the kitchen, so basin comes and all the things. And now in this world where we have a social media overburdens, at the click of things, you just have so many brands, so many products available, and teenagers are extra experimental in using and picking things up. but they do not know what to use. But yes, it's getting better, it's getting easier for us a little bit. But yes, choosing the right thing is also the right mindset. I mean, you shouldn't just get floated away with the flow of information available.
Good.
So
And we know like awareness has increased when you started and till date. But do you think that social media, one way is a challenge because people are picking up anything and everything from the marketplace? But social media has been helpful today in terms of marketing and other things, especially for professions like yours, dermatology, cosmetology, and all. Do you think so? With the
yes, absolutely.
internet and social
Absolutely.
media and
Absolutely. Now that the knowledge about treatments, products, and everything else is getting more regularized, because cosmetology is all about beauty with science. So basically, we are medical people, but we are connecting the beauty also with it. So whatever we are prescribing are medicinal drugs and cosmeceuticals which have a scientific background. We know how this thing works and that thing works. That's why over the counter products we are not very sure, but when they come to a doctor we know what we are prescribing and how much time it will take, and how do we proceed ahead. Also, to add on, nowadays, because it's getting so popular, even film stars like Kim, Madhuri Dixit, Aishwarya Rai, everybody talks about their skincare routines and regimes, and that's how the mass media gets very influenced. That yes, it is, it eases out our job, but at
all?
the same time the downside is that they just tend to pick up whatever is branded with flashy brands coming up. This is trending, that is latest, so they just experiment on their skin, and when their skin gets bad, then they come to doctors. So instead of that, let's just be the reverse way. Rather than waiting for something wrong to happen, go to a doctor, get yourself checked, get yourself adjusted with the right way of products, and it'll also ease up. Also, in last few days there was this news of Jada Pinkett and Will Smith slapped on the
Yeah.
stage, and this came up with a condition called as alopecia areata, which is so common. So then that was like a tinkle away to the viewers that there is something called as alopecia areata, where you get patches on the scalp, and it's very common in stress. It can happen at any age. It can happen to teenagers, somebody who's lost their jobs, somebody who's lost a person in the family because of COVID. So you get round circled patches on the scalp, and it's okay to talk about it. Also, these kind of stuff is very tabooed in Indian market. People don't want to talk about their illness or something happening. Even leprosy, vitiligo, people, it's still a taboo. So these kind of things, social media makes it easy, because Jada Pinkett has gone bald completely. And why did she go bald? Because she had alopecia areata. And so it's always a plus and minus. But yes, I take it very positively. It just creates a huge awareness amongst the people.
Right. I think good examples shared here where definitely it's making sense and people can understand the kind of awareness people are able to get from social media, right? It's all it all depends on how do they use it again, right? If
Yes,
they
yes,
use media in
absolutely.
the right ways, then they get to become more aware and then use it for their own benefits. So that is good. Now if somebody has to, now you have been into this for many years, right? If somebody has to enter into this field, what is the path? You mentioned you did your dermatology after mbbs and then you did certain more things, you travel places and all. But if somebody has to get started, what is the path for them?
Yeah. So basically, the medicine, the MBBS is for about 5 to 5.5 years, and then you complete that. And right now, there are entrance exams for the post graduation. So you can pick up an MD, or you can do a DNB, that's a Diplomate of National Board, and you can pick up your subject according to the ranking. So it's like that now. And once you
Mhm.
finish that, in the basic course of dermatology, you'll be exposed to a lot of clinical dermatology. At the same time, there is clinical pathology, like going into diagnostics. There
Mhm.
is surgery also taught to you. So there's dermatosurgery, there is HIV medicine. You can specialize, super specialize into pediatric dermatology. That is also there. HIV medicine, I said, leprology. You can be a hair transplant expert. You can be, uh, uh, so there's so many of them. you could go into a super specialty according to what your uh, like is. So dermatology has evolved a big way. It was one of the least considered post graduation when I passed out, but now it's one of the most creative, lucrative, and I think it just gives you that satisfaction. So each one of has its own positive sides and a different niche. Like pathology is going into diagnostics, so they only treat skin conditions and see under the microscope and give, so they are our backups. So if we can't diagnose correctly, then we take up a small piece of it and send them. So you can do dermatopathology. HIV medicine is good. You can do surgeries is good. Leprology is there. Hair transplants experts you can be. And there are many, many more. So
Mm.
it has got spurted out into many of these, and I chose cosmetology because I was quite inclined into beauty and skin health, basically skin health. So that's how I get my energy from.
Okay. And how many years was this, like, as in practice and learning and all of it, cosmetology alone?
So basically, we do not have as such a super specialty in as a course, but then you
Mhm.
learn along the way. So whatever
Okay.
came into the Western markets, you go there, you learn from those universities, you go and do that course and come back and kind of apply them on Indians. So that was a learning process. But as such, you can do small courses in bits and pieces of whatever inspires you. So if you are into injectables and face sculpturing and transformations like I do, so you have a different course in Europe and in Singapore, and you can go and get them done as well. So these would enable you to use those avenues in your practice. So
Mm.
Thailand and Korea is good for threads. The European universities are good for injectables. For hair, you have different universities, so you can go and do these small courses and start practicing.
Great. And when you were talking about super specialty after MBBS, doing that dermatology for 3 years and then getting into super specialty, I could recall one of my friend recently talking about this. The doctors take about 10 years to get into the field where they get started to earn, right?
Absolutely. 10 years is still and plus counting.
Plus
It was
counting, yeah.
like, okay, when will we get set? When will we come back with the money home? Types of.
Right. But I think, yes, of course, the kind of profession it is, and the reason why people get into it, as you also mentioned, that you got into this because you wanted to help people to get best skin, to get their high self image, and all of it. Now, you talk about one more thing in your profile and also during your content and all is that you want to help people holistically. Like you also position yourself as the holistic skincare expert, right? So, what is it when you are talking about holistic skincare? What are the things that you cover and your expertise and where you help people in?
Yeah. So, as I said, that skin is like I was more into skin health, and then I saw that skin is just a reflection of everything what you put in the mouth and whatever is happening inside the body. So many hormones, your pregnancy, the stress of work, your sleep habits, your food, type of lifestyle, everything, and in general also whatever the ups and downs which you go during the life was affecting the skin in every aspect. If you have pregnancy, you'll have hair loss. If you've got a little bit of over on the sugar and insulin, you'll get dark patches on the skin. So only I thought, working only on the skin and just giving them medicines and talking about how to just maintain their skin, let me just go one step behind and understand how these factors were also impacting the skin, because that will be like a complete and a holistic hold. So I am now practicing and I connect to gynecologists, I have endocrinologists with me, I have trichologists with me, I have healing therapy people, psychological help, because stress also leads to a lot of skin conditions. So all of that and working all towards together, I take up a case. So even when they come into my clinic, the first consultation will have, of course, what is your mindset? Is there any limiting belief? How important is your skin for your profession, or how much it has impacted. So many people feel that they haven't taken care of the skin, so they're so low in their self esteem, self image, and they've kind of closed it for so many years. And now when I touch base as a doctor to them, they just open up all what they have inside. So mindset is what I work on. And then of course setting the right products. Like I said, now there's a logical reasoning behind what products to be used in the morning, and it doesn't take again more than 2 minutes in the morning, so it's not difficult. 2 minutes at night, and that will take you long way. So if I explain it to them that instead of picking anything from anywhere, please come and we'll set things for you even if you do not have a skin problem, like that. So they understand the logic behind. And then the third thing is of course the treatment. So what I've also done is, few people just randomly say, okay, facials are important, okay, peels are important, but the customer or maybe the client doesn't know anything about all these. So what I've done is categorize them into age baskets. So this is like my unique framework which I've created with somebody's help, and this enables my clients to understand, okay, if I'm between 25 to 30, these are the skin problems in my skin, and these are the treatments which I should undergo. So between 30 to 40, these are the changes what my skin undergoes, so I need to go a little deeper to help myself looking younger and better. Beyond 40, the bone collapses, fat collapses, muscle collapses, you go more rounder. So Indian skins as it is are much more chubbier, but then how do you still make them look younger? Or we all are round faced by and large. Indian faces are round faced, we have shorter jaw lines and chins. So how do you still make them looking better? So if we tell them that these treatments according to their budget and things like that can help, then they understand and they know the journey ahead. They know, okay, 30s they have to do this, 40s they have to do this, and 50s beyond this they have to do this. So then they are more impressed, they want to be with you, they like the clarity. And of course according to the budget, housewives or maybe professionals are ready to take that as an opportunity to enter into their skin health. So this I plan my skin things for my client. And apart from that, their diet. So food is very important part of it, because we are now looking at skin quality, and teenagers are take the biggest brunt of it because of the junk food eating and a lot of outside food eating, bad habits, things like that. So acne, teenage acne is coming into place. Of course a lot of sugar foods, low on proteins, all of this impact. So I set their diet. Then telling them more about supplements. Also supplements is something which is way beyond your essential vitamins. So essential vitamins for everybody, I tell them there's vitamin B12, D3, iron, your hemoglobin and thyroid, they have to be in place. Beyond that, when we are looking at skin enhancement, this is where cosmetology comes into place. Then according to age, you may need antioxidant, because that's new concept. We are extremely stressed about everything nowadays, starting from traveling to exams to profession to everything. So we need antioxidant supplements. Why we need, when we need. Collagen supplements beyond 35, 40, you should take collagen because it's like protein, it builds up your skin. So all that is taken into consideration. And last is the lifestyle, because ahana, because lifestyle is something which impacts our it takes away. So in lifestyle, if I say stress, sleep habits, that's a lot haywire. And all of this is impacting the hair, the quality of skin, the sagging, the protocol of the skin. So we have to put that right. Kids nowadays are too much on the social media at night, that impacts their skin in a long run. And of course exercise. So all of these 4 5 things, if in case is completely taken care of, then your skin also behaves well, plus your hormones inside are behaving well. So this is my holistic skin expert, and I urge everyone to get a 6 monthly checkup with a dermatologist, like how we have health checkups. So I'm also working towards integrating skin and health together. So skin is not a different aspect, and it's not a vanity, it's a necessity. That's what I'm projecting it. So whatever happens inside, while we also take care of our sugars, our cholesterol, our blood pressure, a visit to a dermatologist every 6 months will be definitely helpful. That's how I put my entire plan and position myself as holistic skin expert.
Yeah. I think these are some great insights. Thank you for sharing them because I still believe awareness point, as you said, right? In terms of people take care of their health checks and all, but when it comes to skin, they don't really realize the kind of impact, as you mentioned, because of sugar, because of diabetics, because of stress, or whatever reasons, right? People have different changes happening in the skin. I think even during COVID, I think a lot of people faced different changes in their skin.
Absolutely, absolutely. There was COVID hair loss. So much. It was almost like a second pandemic. The COVID hair loss, because COVID is like any virus attacking your body, and when the body recovers, it loses the hair, because hair is not an organ; it is just an attachment. So any brunt on the or injury to the body conserves all its energy towards the vital organs like your heart, brain, functioning of the liver, gut, kidney, and it's okay to lose what is non-essential. So hair
Mhm.
fall was literally every day. We would have line of people calling up for hair loss problems in COVID. So we had to arrest them. We had to tell them, yes, it's a part of it. How much will come back? What do you need to go ahead with? And yes, COVID 2 years was like disaster for everyone. I think, overeating happened, weight gain happened, sugar, insulin levels went out of the way. People were overstretching for work. Women were absolutely stressed under taking care of the house, the children, their professional work, and too much overburdening. So COVID also was quite heavy on everyone.
Right. And you mentioned about the hair loss, especially during COVID, and you were getting calls day in, day out. So, were people able to recover that hair loss? Because I think one of the big concerns a lot of people had around was hair loss, whether I'll be able to recover it and all. And if people today have not been able to recover, do you think with dermatology and all of this, if they can go ahead, they will be able to recover their hair loss, their skin, and everything?
Yes, absolutely. So, COVID basically, if they lost any person in the family or job, maybe that kind of stress leads to alopecia areata, which is a completely reversible condition. So, only I was going very bold at that time that don't worry if you get these kind of patches. And second, because of the COVID infection, if you're infected with COVID and down with the fever and everything, you will have a generalized hair loss, which we call it as telogen effluvium, which is also equally reversible, but provided you go high on proteins and there's a specific diet and medications which we could prescribe them on phone, and they could recover back the hair. And of course skin, yes, after the COVID restrictions opened up, so many clients flooded my clinic and said, now we have to go back to work, please get all this dullness down, because they couldn't visit any doctor or any beauty parlor or do anything at home. So then, yes, now they're coming back and getting their skins repaired. And yes, prevention, if we do, and if we are even if aware, then even on phone, if you consult, you would have got help from somewhere. So awareness is a very big part of it.
Right, completely agree. And one side, there is a physical health which you spoke about, right? People going through COVID and then they had hair loss or skin challenges and all. But what about the people who had stress, right? You spoke about stress as well. And especially the working professionals, like in any setting, I think everybody was going through that stress, taking care of work from home, taking care of family at home, everything. So, how does the skin actually start changing because of the stress? Does it impact the skin as well? And what are the recommendations that you do in terms of to those people?
So skin gets impacted in a big way with stress, and that's why self-image or maybe self-love, me time concepts, taking a little break for yourself, and changing the reaction pattern to stress. Stress would be there as a part of your life at every moment. probably. But then it's how you take it up, how you can manage. So ways of taking the stress also change. So there were so many healing people came in. Meditation is a good way, exercise is a good way, spending time in a beauty parlor, maybe getting a spa also was taken as. So I talk about that also, because you have to find out ways that relieve your stress. And stress, for that matter, like short episodes of stress are good, they're like challenges. So that keeps you going. But if it's like a continuous chronic stress, then that shows up on the hair and the skin. So hair, told you that you have generalized hair loss, and that's quite aggressive. So much of hair just goes away, you can see the hair falling everywhere. And for the skin, basically the body secretes steroids in stressful conditions. So like if you have deadlines, if you've got exams, these are stressful situations where body secretes steroids. Steroids are nothing but life saving and supporting hormones. So these steroids, along with that, they will also cause pigmentation, they cause breakage of collagen, so your aging factor increases, your skin becomes pale. So all these side effects do come with stress. And that's why, if you can't do anything about the stress, you have to find out a way what relieves you. Is it friends? Is it talking to friends? Is it dancing? Is it a hobby? Is it meditation? Or maybe going to a healer, or maybe taking a life coaching session with someone who can help you to relieve that, whatever is locked inside your mind and heart. So you have to find out ways. And that's why, uh, at this after COVID, so many people did approach me that how should I vent out. And then I, according to whatever they need, I send them to my friends, whoever are in the helping category.
Great. And I'm loving this conversation more because I think as a dermatologist or cosmetologist, you're not only talking about how a product can save somebody or how a product can help in their terms of solving the stress and all. You're really talking about the holistic ways of doing this, right? Because otherwise, we typically see somebody into a specific profession talking only about their products or services, right? So this is really good, the kind of insights that you are sharing here. And on the similar lines, since most of the followers that I have come from the corporate world, because I was in the corporate world for about 17 plus years, right? Especially in the IT world, and people are right in front of their laptops for longer hours, even
Yes.
working in the late night. Sometimes people switch off their lights and then still working. So does it this also affect the skin, and what are the recommendations you have for these kind of people?
Absolutely. So, of course, late night stretches and in front of laptops and gadgets, it's now very clearly defined that there's something called as blue light. Now, blue light is emitted by these gadgets, and that ages your skin. So, if you have long exposures to these gadgets, definitely over a long period of time, your skin will age faster. Secondly, when you have your light switches, so there's something called as body circadian rhythm. So when it's daylight, you're supposed to have light falling on your skin, and that activates all the organs, and your metabolism is faster during the day. While at night, the body has to switch off and take rest, because the night is the skin repair time, hair repair time, the body organs repair, and produce a lot of cells so that you are up on your feet the next day. But at the same time, if you're ignoring this body circadian rhythm and you're working till late, especially with lights off. So with lights off, what we've seen is the body gets a signal that, okay, it's night, you have to sleep. But you are pushing it to work over the board, and that releases insulin. Insulin is also another hormone which is like an emergency hormone, and that insulin leads to a lot of pigmentation, which we've seen in corporate people who have been working in a lot of stressful situation for years together. I mean, that's like how the work goes on. So pigmentation can occur on the sides, on the side of the neck, on the face, and this is called as acanthosis nigricans. And this is a very well stated fact that you have to work according to the body circadian rhythm, otherwise the body cannot cope up. then it secretes all these emergency hormones which also have their own side effects. So when it's night, you have to switch off all the lights of the room. Make sure not even the gadgets which you put on the charging is beeping or is showing any light. It has to be pitch dark. And try to be an early morning person, so when you have sunlight coming in the house, it falls on your skin at least for 10 minutes in the morning, which helps to build up the immunity and awakens all the the senses of the body, and that helps you to be more healthier over a long period of time. Also late night snacking, so when you're kind of having food, it's fine, but when you're working for late, you feel like having a lot of sugar because you're working, so you're burning sugar. So there would be a hot chocolate craving or maybe an ice cream craving. Again, at that time when the body is almost resting, you give it sugar, so again to curb that, insulin is secreted. So at one stage comes when the body says, I can't tolerate any more insulin, so please don't eat anymore. But with the habit of having multiple meals in a day, maybe after breakfast at 10 o'clock also you have chai, then at 12 o'clock you have a snack, then at 1 o'clock you have food, then 3 o'clock again some biscuits, and 5 o'clock again snack, and then late night so all that troubles the insulin so much that body goes into insulin resistance stage. And we very classically can see that on the skin. So in fact, skin is the first organ which picks up these hormonal imbalances and tells you. So if you visit a dermatologist well in advance, we'll be able to pick up even in a 13-year-old to a 60-year-old whether you have high sugar, high cholesterol, high insulin levels, and that is like a like a screener. So you'll be aware that there's something wrong, and then when I probe them into the lifestyle, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is how it comes up into, and we can definitely manage that by the help of a dietitian, or maybe if some hormones are going haywire, then your endocrinologist can come into picture and correct them. For women it happens a lot, so then they can be under gynecs or endocrinologists care, and we can sort that out much in a preventive stage, rather than waiting for the entire thing to blow up and you're already high on sugar and insulin, and then you have to take pills for your life. So these small things come up on skin, even smallest of the cancer that can be picked up. Even if you have a deep pigmentation, if you can visit a doctor, then definitely we can pick that up much earlier. So only corporates are at a high risk, and I would urge everybody to just go in for an evaluation at a dermatologist office to get many things under control. You never know what's cooking inside.
Absolutely. And I think this is a great session, and the insights that you're sharing is gold, because I'm just imagining how it would have been like if during my corporate world somebody would have shared this kind of knowledge and awareness. Right? Because I think in the corporate world, what happens, Parul, is we are given a lot of technical trainings, right? On the job trainings, the things that can help us in the job, but holistically how do we grow, and then our skin, our body, how do we take care of it? I think those things are still, I think, a lot of awareness to be created. Yes, of course there are certain insurance plans, healthcare and all of it,
Yeah.
but in terms of awareness, I think that's very important, because if people are
Yes.
not aware, right, whatever you are sharing, if they are not aware, they will continue doing that without their knowledge.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great.
Correct.
And now that we know that there have been a lot of damage happened to a lot of people who are not aware and all, so do you think at any age this damage can be controlled and it can be like recovered, the skin, and
Yeah.
then can be taken care? Because you talk about pigmentation and a lot of things there.
Yes, so I expertise into teenage skin care also. So that's where all my initial bombardment happens of what you should eat, how much you should eat, what are the bad habits, and slowly. And of course, I introduce some supplements because it's killing to tell a teenager that you cannot eat pizzas and you cannot eat burgers. But then, yes, as a doctor, I know there are some supplements which help to get the good bacteria back into the body. So we have a probiotic backup, so if they have maybe a meal full of junk food one day, the next day they can have probiotics and balance that out and not go into an over sugar or over inflamed kind of state. So teenage acne is getting more common because there's so much into junk food, there's so much stressed out, they have wrong habits of everything is going wrong. So then a lot of awareness comes into picture, so their diet, lifestyle management, and their awareness. Now we also know there are few products which are only for oily skin, for their teenage kind of skin. So if we tell them, they're very conscious and happy about, okay, these are my products and I will now start taking care of them. So instead of the parent saying, if a friendly doctor tells them these kind of advices, they are more receptive. And I'm successful in my mission that, okay, I can get them aware and take them out from a bad skin stage to a good skin stage. And the moment they start seeing good results on the skin, they are they're motivated themselves to take care of the skin further. So one teenager gets a good skin, he'll definitely carry on that that motivational work towards getting good skin even in the professional life. So my work is done if I catch them young.
Good. I think, yeah, definitely prevention is better than cure, and you are proactively helping them on this stages of their life. Now, again, coming to awareness, we see a lot of people, especially in India, because you can pick up any drug from the pharma, right? You can pick up anything without a doctor's consultation. Also, if you go to saloons, there are so many skincare products that are already available there, and then we start going with any recommendation of the beautician or the saloon person. So, how does this impact people in terms of when they are using different products? As you were saying, something related to Indian skin. So, is it again like depends on the skin, depends on age? How is it?
Yes, absolutely. Skin, age, season, the products will vary because, particularly pertaining to every age, there are changes and which we have to make sure that those are rectified. Also, Indian skin, we all are brown skin people. We are not Westerners to have a very fair and absolutely thin kind of skin. We have relatively thick skin, but we are so prone to pigmentation because we all are brown skin. A little exposure to sun, maybe shopping for half an hour, or maybe even in a mosquito bite on the hand will leave a mark for months together, because this is the quality of our skin. But we also have pros that we never get cancers. So looking at this, that we get pigmentation on the face, that's why I'm making them aware that this is the the problem in our skin. So we should always be working towards using sunscreen early in age. Then you have sunscreens, and these products for teenagers are separate, for middle age is separate, for every skin type is separate. So even if you know that there are five skin types, and that skin type products you use, you are sorted. You don't have to really dig into too much of logic. So it's so simplified at our clinic, and of course in my upcoming book also I've simplified it that way. So they know, okay, they cannot pick up anything from the market. Everything flashy is good, okay, you should know whatever is trending, but it's that may not be the right product for you, that may not be the right thing for you, and then you end up into problems. So knowing that, yes, Indian skins have more of pigmentation issues, so it's a challenge to Indian doctors even to treat over the board. So if you go too deep and that person goes out in the sun, then you have pigmentation problems again. So we have to balance out the benefits of the treatment and the product versus the side effect of taking into consideration what profession that person comes from, whether he will follow the instructions, and all of that. So Indian skins have their specific specifications. That's why these products, especially like sunscreens, have to be introduced. So every third day, my social media will have one post of sunscreen. Wherever, however it strikes you, I'm okay with it. If you are on a vacation, if you are on even indoors, and yeah, so the newer concepts are, even if you're indoors working from home and you sit next to a big window which has sunlight coming from outside, that can age your skin. So that is the UVA which damages the skin and ages you. So it's not only going out on the streets and getting suntanned, but also when you are indoors, you may have skin going aged because of the UVA. And like I said, blue light with the laptops coming in. So you have to have sunscreens on the face. Sunscreen also has evolved so much over the period of time. Before, the cricketers would have a white casty sunscreen all over the face. You need not be like that. Now you have these nice tinted sunscreens which look like foundation for working women. You have matte finish. If I put sunscreen, you won't even know that I've put sunscreen. You have pediatric sunscreens coming nowadays. In last few months, two brands have launched their pediatric sunscreens. So it's right there. So anything which is flashy, you need not pick up. Just consult a dermatologist so you know what to put, and that will be enough. You don't have to overburden yourself. You just have to go the right way, and minimalistic is my way of going ahead.
Great, nice insights here. Now, you were talking about when you were talking about the sunscreen, lotions, and all of this. I could recall this funny ads that show off, right? That anybody who has a tan or a black skin color, you can convert, you can become white, fair, and all of this, right?
Yes.
So I'm not sure whether I can call it persuasive or manipulative ads, right? So what do you have to talk about
These
this
are
one?
all flashy brandings which non-medicated products are allowed to do. So
Mhm.
please do not go behind all those. Fungus cannot be treated by anything which is available on the shelf. And in Indian market, even the chemist and your neighbor is helpful enough to suggest a cream to you. So please do not do that by their recommendations. Go to a doctor and get yourself the right cream. Yes, there's so many brands which are coming up with bigger claims. Please use with your discretion. Please be a mindful audience. I mean, you can know what it is, but you need not run behind everything what is flashy, because that product may not be the right one for you. Again, to say.
Right. I think good here, and definitely like people investing in themselves in terms of going to the dermatologist, because you people have specialized spending at about 8 to 10 years understanding various skin types and all of it. So definitely it helps people if they want to really bring that glow or whatever they want to look like, right? Feel great and all
Absolutely.
of
And
it.
all these brandings are generalized.
Mhm.
So when you come to a doctor, customize according to your skin type, according to your profession. Whatever you use more logically will help you to reduce the aging factor of the skin. So you look more better over the period of time also. So
Right.
all these factors come into consideration when you have a logical and the right product in hand, and right treatments, right dietary. Maybe whatever is going wrong in your life may not be the wrong in the next person's life. So these customizations come only when you go to a doctor, rather than spending 2000 at a junk food outlet. Invest in a doctor's consultation even before you have anything. It will go way long, because now we are living in a era of visibility, personality, well-being, projection. Then why not? So many of these MNCs are calling me as a guest speaker to talk about skincare for the women and men. I think that's a good way. Even colleges nowadays are calling doctors to give a skin talk, because these kids are now going into professional colleges. They would be appearing and aspiring for higher thing. So if in case there's something wrong in the skin at that time, can be corrected. It may help for their self-esteem, self-belief. If they have great skins, why not? Our next generation can project the best out of themselves.
Yeah, definitely. And that really helps in terms of self confidence and self image as well. Right. And this is one area where you are working, where you are helping people in terms of treating their skin and making them look good, increase their self image and all. But there is one more area which I have heard you talking in your content and social media and all this, where you are coaching people in terms of becoming a beauty therapist and all of this. So, what is this all about? Like, what do you want to share about this particular initiative that you have taken?
Yes, absolutely. So, as I go ahead in passion treating my patients, I also felt that I should give back to the society, contributing to somebody who doesn't know much about it and still want a backup or maybe a helping hand. So it all happened during the COVID time that many of us, we had to let go many of our staff because there were less patients and less work. And when they were getting recruited back, we had to choose few who are the best ones, and the few ones which were deselected were jobless for a long time. So that really pained me, and I thought, what is the solution? So why not train them under me with all the skill sets, the etiquettes, the team building capacity, mindset, getting them, in good in spoken English, and training them to work as a beauty therapist under doctor's guidance. So there's a huge demand because there's so many dermatologists around, and they need a good team. So when you want to scale up, when you want to sustain, and when you have a physical store, you need a good team behind. So there are these girls who actually are just graduates or maybe undergrads, also maybe just 10th pass or 12th pass, who just don't know how to move ahead, and they're looking for a breakthrough. uh, what I thought was women empowerment, upskilling them and helping to get jobs, respectable jobs. Dermatologists, all moreover, are women centric jobs. They are safer ones, not very long hours, but yes, comfortable as compared to other field work. These are more comfortable jobs, and highly paid as well. So I've opened my Skin Brilliance Academy, wherein I train such people who are underprivileged. Underprivileged means who do not have a let out or maybe thought about going, training them completely to be beauty therapists. This is a position wherein these people help, they are our right hand, so they help us in procedures, and they also individually perform procedures at dermatologist office. And I place them at my friend's place. I mean, it's not very big as of now, but I'm hoping to get more and more students like that, and getting women empowerment as my happiness criteria, because this makes me happy.
That's a great initiative. And yes, of course, everything starts small, but the intent that you have, and you have already started taking a lot of steps in this direction and are already helping a lot of people. I think this will definitely grow, and we wish you huge success in that initiative that you have taken, where you want to impact and help a lot of people to get into this field and help others as well.
Thank
So
you.
this is one area. Now, the other thing, what I have seen about you, and then while talking, we also understood more about you, is you got into a field which was not known at that point of time, right? 15 years back, and you got started this, and you also started your own business in terms of you started your own clinic. Now there are doctors who prefer to go to hospitals, who actually do not want to start on their own. But what is that advantage that they get, and how can somebody launch their own clinic if somebody has to get started into this profession and then do it on their own?
Yeah. Well, it's totally on your personal choice. So, well, if you're doing a clinical dermatology, you can definitely go ahead and get yourself attached to hospitals as a full timer. But by and large, what I've seen, dermatologists are more of creative people, because we like to have our own minds being used. So we have protocols on our own. We want to experiment with how we can make things work much better. So we do not much follow the real rule, and we like to explore and bring about our own creativity. And that's what made me open my own clinic, and I really love the entire concept of it. It's almost like running like a like your own business. And that's where the hard things also come. So in medical dermatology or medicine, nobody teaches you all this. You have to learn and put in all your 15 years of work and things. It's not always that if you're a good doctor, patients will flock your clinic and you'll be the best doctor. It's not like that. I learned it the hard way. Also, the corona hit in between, but yes, learnings are always there. So what I feel is, if you are going in for a physical store, because most of the doctors want to open up their own, there's a lot of capital involved. One, you would have a team, you would have overrates, you would have maybe rentals going on for your place, or you may have to buy. The machines cost nothing less than 20 lakh to 50 lakh. So if you ask dermatologist where is the money, the money is, gone buying the machines. It's not in the bank. So, but yes, we are exploring minds, and we like to buy things which is up in the market. We would want our capacity to go more higher and higher. That's where we reinvest. So one thing take home will be capital would be needed. You'll have to have patience in life. You'll have to nurture your team building um, skills, which a doctor usually doesn't have. It's like an individual thing. So but when you have your physical store, you'll have a team behind. You'll have to make sure that your team is happy. You have to take them for lunch. You have to keep them happy. You also have to keep up to your own latest things which is happening in the market. So getting, you know uh, going to conferences, getting whatever is latest. You have to keep your clients also happy, and keeping them updated, giving them whatever the best is there in the market. So lot of money, lot of patience. You may have to sacrifice sometimes your time, sometimes your social events, sometimes your family events. Yes, that comes at a cost. So if you are ready, if you have a creative mind, and if you want to be a real entrepreneur, I would say, then you can dive into it and take up uh, opening a store for yourself. And it'll be almost like you're working for your own self. You're creating your own name. You're creating your own brand. So none of
Right.
this is taught in the traditional medicine. So you have to have some mentors. You have to have a marketing team. You have to put all your money, whatever you earn for initial few years, till you get the hang of it, and you have a good database of happy clients. And it's like a rolling thing, but then yes, you will always learn as you go up. So if you are ready to put in your few years and your money back, and sacrifice a little bit of your social life, then you can definitely open up a dermatology clinic.
Great. So I think some good insights again for people who want to start their own clinics. And coming from your experience, it definitely helps people. And you have also been sharing your book cover and talking about your upcoming book in your social media as well, which is Five Steps to Skin Brilliance. Right. So do you want to share about it? What is this book all about? Who is it for? And when is this book expected to come out in the marketplace?
Yeah, it was always my dream to be an author, and I think now with a certain amount and level of confidence and creativity around my work as a holistic skin expert, I thought reducing the chaos in the market regarding products, treatments, what should be happen. Let me just regularize and systematize everything. So the five things which 5 steps I have again formulated that as my USP. I've put this in a book with simple words and simple examples and frameworks, and people will be able to take themselves through the journey which I've shown them. At least they'll get an idea of what is the right structure of a good skin. And in this, again, I talk a lot about mindset. Again, to say that yes, mindset is the first thing of awareness. If you know, if you aspire to have a good skin, then you should have a great mindset. I've talked a lot about that. Then, of course, the right products, the right routine. It's not customized, but it's like a general thing, but which is equally important for you to know. Third is, of course, treatments, which age group you can do which treatment, so that you don't feel that the doctor is cheating you, or maybe you are doing over the board. When you know the logical things and you fall into that age category, you can always go and ask the doctor with an confidence that yes, I'm 35, I would like to go ahead with this treatment because I know that this treatment is needed. So that also reduces our half work. And then there's diet, there's correct supplements which you should have, and then the lifestyle. So these are my 5 pointers, 5 elements of great skin which I talk in this book. And it's, yeah, it's on the way. Maybe a month or two, it should hit the racks. And of course, it will be available on Amazon also, and it gives me real good pleasure because I've jotted down very simple things. And especially it's not age related, because I've covered a lot about all age, starting from teens, not pediatric, but starting from teens to, of course, 50 and 60 and above. But it's a great read for you to be more knowledgeable, to be more mindful about, you should know about your own body. It's high time that we ignore that. Okay, if I'm still have to talk after 3 years also that please use sunscreen, and people still don't know, it gives me real sad vibes. So please wake up and pick up this book, because it's a good read, and you should be aware enough and educated enough about your own skin. And skin is the largest organ of the body. So I've told a lot about it, and it'll be really helpful to each and every person.
Definitely, this is something that I'm also looking forward, because the kind of knowledge you have already shared here has been amazing, and I'm sure like the book, whoever is going to pick up, uh, the first level of knowledge and understanding and getting that awareness, it will definitely help. So I'm very excited and looking forward for your book, and I think we have definitely had a great time. You sharing a lot of insights and your thought process, and also giving a lot of value here today. Now, if we have to like conclude this session, what is the one takeaway that you want to give to people so that they can take back home and then look forward for doing certain things right now?
So one definitely is skin awareness, which I really shout out on all my social media. So please connect to my social media handles. They have a lot of skin knowledge, and you'll be more mindful about it. Second is every 6 months, please evaluate yourself with a dermatologist, because you may never know. You may have a cancer. You may have, like I said, hormones like sugar, insulin, diabetes, cholesterol running in the body, and we may pick it up early in for you. And of course women empowerment, if in case people do need to get into beauty industry and to be with doctors like me, if you connect to me, then please refer us. It'll be a great social cause. And I work and I look forward to treat about a lakh of people soon, and get them to a stage of skin brilliance. This is my take home message.
Great, thank you. And while you were sharing that, I was meantime sharing your YouTube channel link where people can subscribe to. Right, that's
Yes,
already
absolutely.
shared on all the channels, and people can also connect with you as you have already mentioned on social media channels. I think LinkedIn is where you are mostly there,
Yes,
plus Insta and Facebook too. Right, so people
yes.
can reach out and then also ask their queries or reach out to you in terms of whatever they're looking forward for, and I'm sure you will be able to help a lot of people here. So thank you once again, Dr. Parul, for being. And I think we need to also thank a lot of people here who are live, interacting, engaging with us, especially Sanmeet Kaur. Then we had Shankar, we had Vikas Paul, Malik, Manmathur, Anand Murthy, Chandravartan, Saurabh Patni, Amanullah Sharif. A lot of people who engaged with us today, and there were a lot of people who are watching live and people who are going to watch later on the recording as well. Thank you for
Great.
being here, and I'm sure like you will have a lot of insights and value from today's episode. And yes, thank you
Thank you
for
so
being here.
much. It was a big pleasure, and great to get people inspired. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you once again, and have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
good night.